In Richard Barsam and Dave Monahan's text, Looking at Movies and Introduction to Film, the term diegesis is defined as the total world of the story. The events, characters, objects, settings, and sounds that form the world in which the story occurs. And each of these elements that make up the diegesis are called diegetic elements. On the flip side, we have non-diegetic elements. And these are those things we see and hear that are not strictly within the world of the story, but rather enhance the view from outside, which includes titles and credits, third-person voiceovers, and of course, the score. Though a small handful of films solely contain diegetic elements, most films utilize a combination of the two to present a story and enhance the internal elements with an external hand. Today, I will be comparing the use of diegetic and non-diegetic elements within Bartholomew's Song, directed by Destin, Cretton, and Lowell, as well as Death to the Tinman, directed by Ray Tintori. Bartholomew's Song is a film almost totally consisting of diegetic elements, those elements strictly within the means of the narrative. In fact, there are only 2 times it diverges from its diegetic world, and it's during the opening title card and ending credits. The setting of the world presented is bleak and barren, devoid of any internal creativity or individual thinking. Our protagonist's purpose is to create these doorstopper product things that are otherwise unnecessary and lacking in any creative thought. The idea of a world without creativity is enhanced by the strict lacking of non-diegetic elements. We have no omniscient narrator describing the internal emotions of characters, and there are no musical swells to indicate changes in tone. Rather, Bartholomew's Song relies on film as a visual medium to convey emotional and tonal shifts. This film is centered around one piece of music discovered within the world of the film that directly impacts the creative thinking of one individual who inspires another. This specific removal of a traditional score is similarly used in Alfred Hitchcock's Rope, Fritz Lang's M, Sidney Lumet's Dog Day Afternoon, and the Coen brothers' No Country for Old Men. These films draw attention to the sound of music within their stories to convey a much more authentic depiction of reality within their respective worlds. Without a score or narrator, there isn't an external hand pulling the viewer along through the story. Rather, the viewer is the external eye experiencing the visual reality of the story firsthand. This is not to say non-diegetic elements are detrimental or negatively impact the experience of the film. It simply depends on the tone by which the screenwriter wishes to present the viewer. On the other hand, we have Death to the Tinman. Death to the Tinman blends diegetic with non-diegetic elements to convey a much more dynamic and direct story, though exploring similarly complex themes. In a manner similar to the bleak and empty soundscape of Bartholomew's Song, Death to the Tinman opens with dialogue between our hero Bill and his ladylove Jane, who foreshadow the events of the film simply with their words. Immediately after, we are presented with all 3 non-diegetic elements: a title card, an uproarious score, and narration by Max Goldblatt. These elements continue for the entirety of the film alongside black and white imagery to present the story in full. Rather than depending on the visual aspect of film to convey the story, the visual and oral aspects are combined to enhance each other and get its themes across in a different way. The inclusion of an omniscient third-person narrator has the ability to report on the internal feelings of our characters. The musical score by Dan Romer and Ben Zeitlin is perhaps my favorite element of the film. It captures the intention and tone of each scene without sacrificing any of the dialogue and visual information presented. It simply adds to the narrative to build anticipation, explode during riotous action sequences, and convey the final emotions of emptiness and lonely isolation despite the presence of a loved one. The non-diegetic score and narration paired with stunning diegetic visuals culminates to a wonder-filled blend of story elements that keeps me engaged each time I rewatch it. That being said, while some elements work for one film, those same elements may not work for another. If we were to add a score and narration to Bartholomew's Song, the idea of a bleak and empty world devoid of creativity may not be fully convincing. Additionally, we would have access to the thoughts and ideas within Bartholomew 467's head, which might subtract from the overall discovery of music. This is probably what that would look like. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right. What is that? Right, left, right, left, right. What is this thing? I don't think it belongs to anyone. I'll just take it. Yeah, I'll just take it. Let's go quick. Right, left, right. A bit distracting, right? What if we did the opposite to Death to the Tinman? Let's take away the non-diegetic elements in this film and see how it plays out. Whee! What makes a king out of a slave? What the hell is going on? This just goes to show that the inclusion of diegetic and non-diegetic elements should be used to clearly and efficiently convey the elements of the story first and foremost. Though some elements may work blended together, other times it's best to simply remove some of these elements and let the narrative play out visually, inviting the viewer into the reality of the story. Ultimately, these ideas and elements are specific to the world in which they exhibit, and it is up to the creative minds behind such worlds to select which elements enhance the story and convey that which they wish to present. A message.